You did not arrive here by accident. Something deeper than coincidence led you to this moment. There was a quiet pull inside you, a gentle invitation that would not let you walk away. That was me. I was the one reaching for your heart. I have been reaching for you long before this day. Before the world was ever formed, I already knew this moment would come. I knew the path you would travel. I saw every valley that would leave you exhausted and every mountain that would seem too high to climb. I saw each wrong decision and every long road that delayed your journey. Even through every painful turn, every confusing season, and every difficult mile, I made sure you would arrive here today. This moment was prepared long ago. You are standing exactly where I planned for you to be. Now I want you to hear something. Not with the part of your mind that questions everything. Not with the part that has been hurt so many times that it keeps hope at a distance. Listen with the deepest place inside you. The place that already recognizes the truth and has been waiting to hear these words spoken clearly. You are fully seen. You are completely known. I have never forgotten you. I have watched over you in the quiet hours. I was there on the nights when everything around you was silent, but sleep refused to come. When your thoughts kept returning to every fear, every unanswered question, and every burden you had no one else to carry with you, I stayed beside you in those moments. You believed you were facing them alone, but you never were. I was closer than you realized, carrying far more than you could ever see. I never turned my eyes away. I never became tired of your pain or impatient with your grief. Every sorrow you carried mattered deeply to me. Not one tear was meaningless. Not one cry escaped my hearing. You have never spoken your prayers into emptiness. Every prayer you lifted toward heaven reached me, and every word was precious. I watched you give when there was almost nothing left for yourself. I saw you appear strong before others while quietly falling apart inside. I watched you keep moving through days that seemed impossible to survive. I saw you protect the people you loved, even when no one stood beside you. I watched the courage it took to keep trusting when everything around you suggested that trusting made no sense. I saw every part of it. Nothing has ever escaped my notice. I saw the betrayals that wounded your heart. I watched those you trusted become the source of your deepest pain. I saw your kindness taken for granted. I watched your loyalty treated as weakness. The very people who should have sheltered you became the ones who left you exposed. Yet you carried that hurt without allowing bitterness to take over. You chose to leave your heart open even when every part of you wanted to close it forever. That was never weakness. It was one of the bravest choices I have ever seen. There were mornings when getting out of bed felt almost impossible. There were seasons when you repeated the same prayers, so often they felt worn out, like fabric that had been washed over and over again. You questioned whether your faith was enough. You wondered if heaven's silence meant the answer would never come. My child, that silence was never a refusal. In truth, it was never silence at all. It was the quiet sound of my work taking place where your eyes could not reach. Every time you held on instead of giving up, something inside you became stronger. Every moment you chose trust when doubt seemed easier. I was shaping you for something far greater than anything you had imagined. You were never forgotten while you waited. A seed hidden deep beneath the soil cannot see the sunlight. It cannot feel the warmth above the ground. It simply receives what I provide beneath the surface, and it continues to grow. That is exactly what was happening during those long seasons that seemed empty. Your roots were growing deeper than you realized. Your strength was becoming greater than you felt. There were nights when you asked why everything was taking so long. Why other people seemed to move ahead, while you remained in the same place. Why every door appeared ready to open, only to close again. I heard every question. And I want you to know those questions never offended me. They came from an honest heart, and I treasure honesty. You were not asking for more than I was willing to give. You were reaching toward promises I had already spoken over your life. That kind of faith, the kind that keeps reaching through confusion, is deeply valuable to me. And now, something has changed. The season has shifted. I cannot tell you the exact second it happened, but I can tell you with certainty that it has happened. Things are different now. You can sense it even if you cannot explain it. There is a movement inside you that was not there before. It feels as though the ground beneath your life has begun to move again. Something that has rested for a long time is beginning to awaken. That feeling is not your imagination. It is confirmation. What is coming is not simply a small step forward. It is the full expression of every promise I have spoken over your life. And I always keep my promises. Declare your amen if you believe God has been with you through every season of your life. Now I want to reveal something that will completely change how you see every difficult season you have lived through. There has been a battle taking place beyond what your eyes could see. While you were living through it, you could not fully understand what was happening. The enemy has been afraid of you. Not merely concerned. Not simply watching. Afraid. He remembered things about you that you had forgotten. He saw the calling I placed upon your life, the purpose, the assignment, and the anointing I wrote over you before you were born. He recognized heaven's investment in you. He knew that once you stepped into everything I created you to become, something remarkable would begin. Chains would be broken. Hearts would be opened. Lives would be changed. What I placed inside you was never meant to affect only you. That is why the attacks against you were so fierce. He did not fight you because you were weak. He fought you because of the strength I placed within you. He did not resist you because your life lacked importance. He resisted you because your purpose in my kingdom was far greater than he wanted you to realize. Every time he convinced you that you were forgotten, worthless, too broken, or beyond hope, he gained more time. He wanted to stop you from discovering who you truly are. The setbacks you faced were never random. They were part of a spiritual battle. The doors that closed at the wrong time, that was warfare. The relationships that suddenly fell apart, that was targeted opposition. Those seasons when breakthrough seemed close, only to slip away again. That was not chance. It was not punishment. It was never abandonment. It was warfare. The enemy does not spend his effort where nothing matters. He feared the season that is now ahead of you. He still fears it. The people who wounded you most deeply were being used. That does not excuse what they chose to do. The pain they caused was real. And I have never treated that pain lightly. But the enemy chose to work through those closest to you, because the deepest wounds are often caused by the nearest hands. His goal was never simply to make life harder for you. His goal was to cause you to walk away from the purpose I placed inside you. He wanted the hurt to become so overwhelming that you would close your heart, abandon your calling, and spend your life merely getting by instead of truly living. But you did not. You are still standing. And that matters. That alone reveals something. That alone proves that the work I began in you is not complete. I have not changed my decision about your life. I have not rewritten your calling because of everything you endured. I did not give your purpose to another while you were walking through the valley. The gifts and calling I give are not taken back. You are still marked by me. You are still chosen. The anointing I placed upon your life has not grown weaker. It has become deeper through the very suffering the enemy intended to use against you. The fire was never meant as punishment. It was preparation. Every moment inside it was producing something in you that a comfortable life could never have created. Those long seasons of lack were never proof that I had left you. They revealed the enemy's fear instead. He kept placing barrier after barrier before you, because he knew where your path was leading. He saw the destination long before you did, and it filled him with fear. I want you to stop viewing your journey through his perspective, and begin seeing it through mine. When I look at everything you have endured, I do not see someone reduced by hardship. I see someone refined through it. I see someone who faced the deepest testing, and still remained standing. I see someone who continued believing when every visible sign pointed elsewhere. I see someone who kept praying when every prayer felt empty. Who continued trusting when trust seemed unreasonable. Who kept their hands open when every wound urged them to close them and protect themselves. That is not someone who has been weakened. That is someone who has been prepared. And now I tell you that his season of resistance against you is ending. The door he tried to keep shut is opening. The movement he tried to stop is gaining strength. What he intended to bury you beneath has become the very thing that lifted you into place. What he planned for your destruction has become the foundation beneath your feet. Do not mistake these words for empty encouragement. I am not speaking just to make you feel better for a little while. I am declaring something over your life. What I declare never fails. What I establish in heaven comes to pass on the earth. And I am declaring it now. Every plan formed against you in this season is being broken apart. Every weapon lifted against you is being turned away. The enemy went too far. He pressed beyond the limit, attacked too fiercely, and crossed a boundary that caused me to move on your behalf. That is what you are sensing now. That is the change you feel. That is my hand at work. I know you came through this carrying wounds. I know the exhaustion inside you is real. I know trust was broken. I know the quiet questions that still remain inside you, asking whether you are enough, or whether the hurt has gone too deep. Those questions are real as well. I am not asking you to pretend they do not exist. I am asking you to place them into my hands. Lay every wound before me and watch what I will do with each one. Because I have been watching you all along, working all along, holding you all along, and I am about to make the enemy regret every attack he ever launched against you. Say, I receive this. If you believe the enemy's assignment over your life is being broken today, then hear this. There are lies you have believed for far too long, whispers repeated so often that they started sounding like truth. I am about to tear every one of those lies down. The enemy called you a failure. I call you someone I have been shaping to change lives. The enemy whispered that your brokenness made you unusable. I say the places where you were broken are exactly where I prepared you, because you learned there what those who were never tested could never learn. The enemy insisted you missed your opportunity, that you waited too long, that your season had already passed. I say your appointed time is here. I am opening doors that no power on earth can close. The enemy declared that you had been forgotten, that nobody important saw you or cared about your future. I declare that I chose you before the world began, and that your name is written upon the palms of my hands. The enemy shouted that you had no value. I declared that you are beyond price, worth the blood of my own son, worth every sacrifice, worth everything required to bring you back to me. The enemy said you would never recover from what happened. I say complete restoration is on its way. Not a repaired copy of what you lost, but something entirely rebuilt from its very foundation. The enemy claimed your greatest days were already behind you. I declare that what is ahead is greater than everything that came before. Not despite your suffering, but because of it. Your suffering gave you greater depth. Your trials enlarged your capacity. You are able to carry more now than you once could. And what I am about to place in your hands requires someone prepared to carry it. The enemy reminded you of every mistake. I say your past has been covered. I remember those failures no longer. The enemy insisted you were too weak for what is ahead. I say my strength reaches its fullness through your weakness. The very places where your own strength ends are the places where my power rests most fully upon you. The enemy claimed your past disqualified you. I declare that you are called and chosen according to my purpose, and no forgiven past can remove that calling. The enemy declared that you had been abandoned, that the people who mattered had gone, and those still around you could never understand. I say I will never leave you. I have walked beside you through every valley, and I will remain beside you through every mountain still to come. You are accepted. You are secure. You are never by yourself. So whose voice will you believe? The voice of the accuser, whose only desire is to steal, destroy, and deceive? Or the voice of your Creator, who gave everything to bring you back? Will you believe the lie that has kept your life dim? Or the truth that sets you free? Choose today, not later. Now. Choose which voice will remain in your heart as the truth about your life and about the future I have prepared for you. Now listen carefully. There has been a covering placed over your provision. It has been the reason that part of your life has felt so difficult. No matter how faithfully you worked, it always seemed as though there was never quite enough. Doors kept closing just before you could step through them. That season was never meant to last forever. I allowed it for a time to test your heart, to see whether you would continue trusting me when nothing appeared to be changing, to reveal whether your faith would remain when life became difficult, or only when everything seemed easy. You came through the test, not without struggle. You hesitated. There were moments when doubt found its way into your heart. But you never let go of your faith. You did not close your hands. You did not turn away. And because you kept believing when belief was the hardest choice to make, the seal is beginning to break open now, my child. I am asking you to place a meaningful portion of what you have upon the altar of this work. Something that carries real value, like gold placed upon the scales of this calling. Let it become a seed released into deep waters, an offering laid before me without fear. Let it show that your confidence is in my provision, and that your heart is no longer held captive by scarcity. What you surrender in faith is never lost. It goes before you into the harvest I have already prepared. Take a moment and let your faith breathe. This is holy ground. It is an act of trust offered before the evidence appears, before your eyes can see the outcome. That is faith in its purest form, and I gladly receive it. The seal over your provision is opening. Resources that have been held back are now being released. Provision will arrive from places you never expected through paths you never imagined. I speak this because it is already in motion. The flow that once seemed blocked is beginning again. The season of continual lack is giving way to a season of abundance. Stop expecting shortage. I know that long seasons of hardship teach the heart to live that way. It becomes a shield against being disappointed once again. But a heart prepared only for loss cannot fully receive what I am sending. Hands held tightly closed cannot gather my blessings. Open your expectations. Open your hands. Open your heart to believe that this season is different, because it truly is. The seal over your provision has been opened, and I am faithful to fill every place I open. Now I want to speak about another seal, the one resting over your relationships. It has been feeding the loneliness inside you. It made you feel alone even while surrounded by people. It kept the right relationships just beyond your reach. It brought people into your life who could not recognize your value or refuse to honor it. It made you wonder whether true connection was ever meant for you. I know how deep that loneliness has been. I know there were seasons when you looked around and quietly carried the pain of being misunderstood, overlooked, or unseen. I know what it felt like to watch others enjoy the relationships you longed for while you remained on the outside. I never ignored that pain. I witnessed every moment. But I want you to understand why much of that isolation happened. Not all of that empty space came from the enemy. I allowed part of it because what filled your life before was keeping you from moving forward. Some relationships had to leave because they were pulling you backward. They were not strengthening you. They were not calling out the purpose I placed inside you. They were not walking beside you toward the future I prepared. Some felt comfortable, yet they were quietly keeping you small. You had already outgrown them, but what was familiar made it difficult to move ahead. So I created room, not to hurt you, but to prepare a place. What I am sending cannot arrive until that space is ready. New wine cannot be poured into old wineskins. The people I have been preparing for you, those who will recognize the anointing upon your life, those who will help open doors you could never open by yourself, those who will stand beside you without needing to diminish you to feel secure. They cannot enter where no room has been made. I know the clearing was painful, but it was preparation, never punishment. People are already moving toward your life from places you would never expect. Their journey has already begun. A mentor carrying the keys to your next season is being positioned through circumstances you never arranged. A companion who understands your purpose is on the way. Someone will look at you and immediately recognize what I have placed inside you. They are coming. These meetings are not accidental. They were designed in eternity and timed to the exact hour. When they arrive, something inside your spirit will recognize my hand upon them. These relationships will not be like the ones you knew before. They will not constantly take while giving little in return. They will not shrink because of the gifts I placed in you. They will not compete with your calling or resent your growth. Instead, they will encourage it. They will push you further into everything I created you to become. They will recognize in you what I have always seen. And they will never allow you to settle for less. That is the nature of the divine relationships I am bringing. They do not flatter. They strengthen. They do not excuse your weaknesses. They help you rise above them. When they enter your life, treasure them. They are uncommon. They are intentional. They come from me. I also want to speak about restoration. Not every broken relationship will return. Some should not. And I will give you the wisdom to know which is which. But there are broken relationships that still carry weight in your heart. The ones that bring sorrow instead of relief whenever you remember them. Some of those stories are not finished. Restoration is coming there. An apology will come from someone you no longer expected to hear from. A conversation is approaching that will change your understanding of what happened. Some bridges you believed were gone forever are being rebuilt by my own hand. I know you have guarded your heart since it was last broken. I know those walls were built for a reason. I am not asking you to tear them down carelessly or trust people who have not earned it. I am asking you to trust me. Trust that I can bring the right people through every wall you have built. Trust that I can restore whatever my purpose intends to preserve. Trust that your deep desire for real community, for relationships where you are fully known and still fully loved, is not asking for too much. It is proof that I created you for exactly that. I do not place deep longings inside a heart without also preparing their fulfillment. I do not create a desire for belonging and leave it unanswered forever. The longing exists because the answer is coming. The ache remains because the fulfillment is real. You were never created to live in isolation. You were created for deep, lasting, faithful relationships. The kind that sharpen you, gently correct you, and speak to the purpose I placed inside you without jealousy. Those relationships are being released now. The seal over your relationships is breaking. This season of being alone is not where your story ends. It was one chapter, a long one, a painful one, and one that had its purpose. But that chapter is coming to an end. When someone new enters your life during this season, do not let past disappointments build such strong walls that you miss the meeting I have prepared. Stay aware in the places you least expect. A conversation that suddenly reaches beyond ordinary words. A person whose voice touches the exact place your heart needed. A new connection that somehow feels known even though you have only just met. Those moments are not accidents. I am present in them. I am the one bringing them together. Watch carefully for the people I place before you. They are not appearing by luck. They are arriving by my plan. Now I want to speak about the third seal, and this one reaches deeper than the others. It is the seal that has rested over your purpose. It has kept you moving in circles for a long time, returning to the same places, carrying the feeling that you were created for something greater, yet never seeing the doorway into it. This is the reason for that constant feeling that something was absent. Not because of what surrounded you, but deep inside your life. That quiet emptiness stayed with you even during seasons when everything looked fine from the outside. That feeling was never a lack of thankfulness. It was a sign. I placed it within you. I created you with a desire for the work I truly designed you to do. And that desire does not disappear because life becomes busy or comfortable. It remains. It keeps calling. It presses against ordinary life until you finally listen. If you have been feeling that pull, do not treat it as something to silence. Treat it as an invitation to answer. You were created for a particular assignment. Not just any assignment. A particular one. I did not make you and send you into the world, hoping you might accidentally discover something meaningful. I placed gifts inside you that point toward a certain direction. I allowed your story to prepare you for a certain purpose. I gave you desires that become alive when you move toward what I planned and fade when you move away. I also gave you the ability to carry certain kinds of pain. The kind that opens your heart instead of only hurting it. The kind that lets you sit beside people living through what you once survived yourself. Every part of that has meaning. Every part points toward your purpose. The seal over your calling remained for 2 reasons. Partly because of timing and partly because of fear. I will speak about the timing soon. But first I want to deal with the fear, because fear surrounding your calling has been one of the enemy's strongest weapons against you. It appeared in many different forms. The fear that stepping out would end in public failure. That following your calling would only bring rejection or shame. The fear that you misunderstood what you sensed. That your calling was only hopeful imagination. The fear that too much time had passed. That your opportunity was gone. That someone else had already taken the place you believed was yours. The fear that you lacked what was needed. That someone more experienced, more refined, more qualified belonged where you felt drawn to stand. The fear that moving forward meant leaving behind the place that felt secure. And after everything you had lived through, safety seemed like the only thing you could trust. Now I will answer each one of those fears. You will never fail in a way that can stop my purpose. I have never called one of my children and then left them alone to face the outcome. Whenever I call, I also provide. Whatever I ask you to do, I also supply what is needed. Sometimes not before the moment, but within the moment itself. That means what you think you are missing will be given exactly when you need it. Move toward your calling, and watch what I place into your hands as you go. You are not mistaken about what is inside you. I know you questioned it. I know you tried convincing yourself it was not real. It seemed too great, too personal, too impossible. But that longing did not appear by chance. A longing that deep does not create itself. I placed it inside you with intention. What keeps drawing your heart is not a dream you imagined. It is the picture I placed within you from the beginning. You are not too late. I do not measure time the way the world does. I do not decide by your age or by what your past looks like. I look at readiness, and I alone decide when someone is ready. Many whom I used in powerful ways stepped into their calling much later than people expected. The long preparation was never failure. It was strength being built where no one could see. What develops slowly becomes the strongest. And you are prepared. Not because of titles, but because you belong to me. Not because of what you accomplished, but because of what you endured. The very things you believed disqualified, you have actually prepared you for this work. The broken places, the long waiting, the unusual road, every part has shaped you perfectly for what I am calling you to do. I am not searching for perfect people. I am searching for surrendered people. I am looking for those who know they cannot do it without me, because life has already taught them that truth. That is who you are, and that is exactly who I desire. The third seal is breaking apart now. What has been held back is now being released. The understanding you have been asking for is coming. Not all at once, because I do not reveal everything in a single moment. But the next step is becoming clear. The next door is opening. The way ahead is beginning to shine beneath your feet. You do not need to see the whole journey. You only need the next step. Take it. Leave behind the thinking that belonged to the last season. You cannot bring yesterday's small thinking into tomorrow's greater life. Stop waiting until you finally feel prepared. Readiness comes through obedience, not delay. Move ahead, not because every answer is already in your hands. Move because I am calling you forward. That has always been enough, and it is enough today. Say yes, Lord, if you are ready to walk into the purpose I created you for. Something has already begun in your life, and I want you to understand it, because it will change the way you walk from this day forward. As the 3 seals are broken, and they are breaking even now, while these words reach your heart, something begins to move. It is like a holy pull, a spiritual force that starts drawing toward you everything I have prepared for your life. You will not have to chase what already belongs to you. You will not have to force open doors, create results by your own strength, or wear yourself out trying to make everything happen. What belongs to you will begin coming toward you. Provision will begin moving in your direction. Not always in the way you imagined. I often work beyond what you expected, because my ways reach farther than your own plans. Help will come from a place you never considered. Something you believed was gone forever will appear again. A door you gave up knocking on will swing open. An opportunity you never searched for will come before you. This is not chance. This is the way my kingdom works on your behalf. It is the same truth that says when you place my kingdom first, everything else is added to you. You have been seeking me. Now the increase is on its way. People will begin coming toward you instead of drifting away. The voices you truly need will enter your life. Those carrying the keys for your next season are being drawn to you by a power they do not even recognize. They will simply feel that they should know you, that something within them responds to something I placed within you. Welcome them. They are not there by accident. When the right person appears in what seems like an ordinary coincidence, remember that I planned the meeting. Nothing happening in this season is by chance. Everything reaching you has been sent by me. My favor will begin opening what opposition once shut. Situations and systems that seem fixed against you will begin to change. Those who failed to notice you will suddenly recognize your worth. Things that stayed delayed will begin moving again. The ground that once resisted your steps is becoming soft beneath you. What stood against you is becoming willing to work with you. Favor is never something you earn. It is something I freely give. And I am pouring that favor over your life now, in a way you have not known before. But there is something I need to tell you. When this change begins, resistance does not disappear immediately. Very often, when heaven starts moving strongly for you, the opposition grows harder just before it breaks apart. The enemy can see what is taking place. He sees doors beginning to open, provision beginning to arrive, and momentum building, so he will make one final attempt to stop you before your breakthrough is fully revealed. I want you to know this, not so you become afraid, but so you will be ready. If discouragement suddenly grows stronger during this season, understand that you are getting close. If doubt becomes louder just as the way ahead begins to clear, do not think you missed my will. See it as confirmation that you are walking in it. The enemy only fights what threatens his plans. If the pressure is increasing, it is because he sees what you cannot yet fully see. He knows where this road is leading, and it fills him with fear. Do not allow him to pull your eyes away from what I am doing by focusing on what he is trying to do. Keep your eyes on me. Keep speaking what I have spoken instead of repeating what your circumstances seem to say. This is more important than you know. Your words have authority in the spiritual realm. What you speak over your life either agrees with what I am releasing or pushes against it. If you continue repeating the enemy's lies, nothing changes. I will never move forward. The door will never open. When you speak those words, you are agreeing with him and resisting what I desire to bring into your life. Change what you declare. Not because words alone create miracles, but because your words reveal your faith, and your faith affects how fully you receive what I am giving. Speak about what you believe is coming, not what you fear. Speak provision. Speak purpose. Speak healthy relationships. Speak healing. Speak restored peace. Let every word from your mouth agree with what heaven has already spoken over your life. There is something else I want you to remember during this season. Carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone deeply loved by the God who created all things. Not with pride, but with steady assurance. The world measures people by what they own, what they accomplish, and what others can see. But that is not how I measure you. I look at what I placed inside you and at your faithfulness toward it. By that measure, you already possess great riches. Remain expectant. Expectation is not only a feeling. It is a way of living. It means you wake each morning ready to receive from me. You move through the day looking for my hand at work. You do not dismiss small signs as meaningless. You do not ignore confirmations, because you expected something bigger. You live with the awareness that I am working in every part of your life. That my hand remains upon you. That my promises are true before your eyes ever see them. Many miss the breakthrough they prayed for, not because it never came, but because they stopped expecting it. Too many disappointments lowered their hope. Then the answer arrived in a form they never expected, and they walked right past it. Do not let that happen to you. Keep your heart ready. Keep watching. Your breakthrough may not look exactly as you imagined, but it will come, and when it does, you will recognize it. There is another truth I want you to understand, because it will keep you from unnecessary disappointment. Growth does not always appear like growth while it is taking place. A tree in winter seems lifeless. Its leaves are gone. Its branches stand bare. Nothing appears to be happening. Yet under the ground the roots continue their work, reaching deeper and gathering strength. What appears still is often where the greatest work is happening. In the same way, there will be moments in this new season when you wonder if anything is really changing. When those moments come, trust the roots. Trust what I am doing beneath what your eyes can see. Things are already moving. The season is already changing. The fruit may not be visible yet, but that does not mean the tree has stopped growing. Before I finish speaking, there is one more thing I want to place over your life. Healing. Not healing in only one part. Healing through every part of your life. I am speaking to the body that has been telling you something is not right. I am speaking to the deep exhaustion that goes beyond ordinary tiredness. The kind of emptiness that sleep by itself cannot remove. I am speaking to the grief that quietly follows you through your days, like a shadow you learn to live beside. I am speaking to the wound that still has not fully healed. The one that returns whenever life brushes against it. I am speaking healing over every part of it. I am the God who heals. Not only the God who healed long ago, but the God who heals today. The same power that restored broken hearts and broken bodies before is still alive, still present, and still reaching toward you at this very moment. I have never limited what I desire to do for you. I have never decided that your situation is too difficult, or that your need is beyond my reach. Nothing is beyond my power to restore, and no place is too distant for my healing to reach. My healing power is moving through your life right now. Not because you earned it, but because you are loved. And love does not leave those who belong to it broken, when it has the power to make them whole. The condition in your body that has been causing you concern is not beyond my power. I formed your body. I know every part of it, every system, every function, and every place where something has been affected. Even now, I am working in those very places. Healing is flowing into what has been harmed. New strength is returning where weakness remained. What the long season took from your body is being restored by my own hand. And the healing I am bringing is not only for your body, it is also for the places inside you that years of pain have changed. The part of you that began expecting disappointment, because hope had been wounded too many times. The part that stopped feeling deeply, because feeling became too painful. The part that wanted to trust again but chose walls instead because trusting before brought great hurt. I am healing those places with gentleness, never with force. No one can be forced into openness. But little by little, as you welcome me in, as you continue placing your hurts into my hands instead of hiding them away, I will keep making you whole. I want to speak directly about the peace you have been missing. There is a special kind of peace, a deep calm that lives beneath changing circumstances, one that remains steady even while everything around you moves. That is the peace I created you to carry. It is the peace beyond human understanding, the peace the world never gave you and the world can never remove. Long seasons of uncertainty and pressure have stolen much of that peace. Now I am restoring it. You will begin to notice it returning, not because every problem disappears, but because a quiet confidence will remain underneath every problem. Like an anchor that stays firm while the waves continue. That is the peace I am giving back to you. There is also joy that has been buried beneath too many difficult seasons. I am reaching down to restore it. Not the kind that is only put on for others to see. Not the smile hiding a hurting heart, but true joy. The kind that rises from deep within. The kind that remains even while life is still unfinished, and not every answer has come. The kind that does not depend on every circumstance making sense. The joy that comes from knowing who holds your life, and knowing those hands will never let you go. I am restoring the years as well. I know exactly what was lost. I know the seasons that should have looked different. Seasons that should have carried greater joy, fuller life, and deeper fulfillment than they did. What those long dry years took from you has not been lost forever. I am a God who restores. I do not restore by taking you backward. Instead, I bring such fullness into the season ahead that it replaces what was missing. What was emptied will be filled again. What became worn out will become new again. What was taken will be returned. Loss will not have the final word. There is something I want you to carry with you from this day onward. I am with you. Not only as someone remembered from long ago, but as a living presence beside you today. Every morning before you awaken, I am already there. Every step into unfamiliar places, I have already gone ahead of you. Every situation where you feel unprepared, I am standing beside you within it. There will never be a room you enter, a conversation you face, or a decision you make by yourself. I am present in every part of it. There will be days ahead when this season is tested. Old fears will come knocking at the door of your thoughts. Discouragement will try to make you forget everything that has been spoken today. When those moments come, return to what you know instead of what you happen to feel. Remember what you know. You know I am faithful. You know my promises never fail. You know I carried you through every season before. And the one who carried you then is still here, still holding you, still faithful. You are more than a conqueror, not because of your own strength, but because of mine. You do not have to create courage on your own. You do not have to pretend the journey ahead will never be difficult. You only need to keep walking beside me, trusting that I see what is still hidden from your eyes, and trusting that what I see is already good. I have gone ahead of you to prepare the way. The road before you is one I have already walked. You are never stepping into a place where I have not already been. Keep following me. I know the path through it. The greatest part of your story is not behind you. It is beginning now. Every promise spoken over your life belongs to you. Receive it, walk in it, and watch what I will do. This is not the ending of our conversation. It is the beginning of a new way of living. You have been waiting for dramatic signs, great changes, and powerful moments that shake the ground. But many times I work through the faithful choice of your very next step. Do not wait for the world's approval or praise to tell you that you are moving forward. Real progress begins within, measured by your agreement with my truth, not by the voices around you. Keep your eyes steady. Carry this confidence into your everyday life, into the difficult conversations, and into the quiet moments when no one else is watching. I am accomplishing far more than you are able to see. Declare, I trust you, Lord. If you receive everything spoken over your life today, we run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.